video of a 3-year-old girl and 5-year-old girl, their sisters, being thrown over a 14-foot tall border fence by the so-called coyotes. They call them human smugglers in the news. I think they are human traffickers. They run away, and these kids are sitting there. I mean, it's emotional to see, but it's disgusting to see that done to children. It's child abuse. Thankfully, that was caught on camera. What's not being caught on camera? That's the question you have to ask. How many kids are dying out in the desert? How many kids are dying on their way with these smugglers? Because if they'll make it all the way to the wall, and that's how they're finishing out their smuggling, is by tossing a 3 and 5-year-old 14 feet below, then how many 3 and 5-year-olds did they just let die on the way?
The reality of the situation is, as one person who said, who's on the Border Patrol said, cartels run our borders. No country should permit a cartel to operate and function and run its borders, and that's what we're doing in the United States now.
Where are those 3 and 5-year-olds going? Into sex trafficking? We don't know. They'll have some card on them with some address that they'll try to verify is somehow related to them. And how will we actually know that? This is the problem. You have unaccompanied young minors. They want you to think about the 16 and 17-year-old males. Well, those aren't. Those are 3 and 5-year-old sisters.
Their inability to calculate the consequences of the policy reversals of the Trump administration that were working. It simply represents one thing by the Biden administration: a capitulation to irrationality.
The best case scenario is their parents paid them, or someone in their family paid them to get to some family in the United States. That is the best case if it was a Disney movie scenario. Okay, that's how it ends. But we don't. And it's likely not going to end like that.
We're basically on our own. Just the other day, 75% of my workforce for that shift was occupied assisting Border Patrol. So, when I have 4 deputies working and 3 of them are tied up for the majority part of the day, we can't serve our citizens in our community the way we need to be serving them.
This effect on small towns is huge because they don't have the resources to have 3 of their 4 sheriff's deputies assisting Border Patrol and not assisting their own community.
Here we have Joe Biden, who is not doing his duty, and yet there is simply no appetite among Democrats, for instance, to really go after him and to demand accountability. Instead, Democrats have doubled down. They're demanding reparations for illegals. Why not take care of average working men and women in the United States? Why not advance their cause rather than the interest of China and drug smugglers and human traffickers?
They don't care about these people at the border. They're political pawns to these issues, and that's it. I mean, to me, their disrespect for human life has always been put on display.
If this was a daycare center in any state in the United States, in any city in the United States, it would be shut down by the Department of Children's Services instantly as being inhumane and improper, and yet we permit it to persist on the borders of the United States, notwithstanding the statements by the Border Patrol. We can't take and tolerate this anymore.
Joe Biden is responsible. The buck stops with him. He likes to say that kind of things. He's the president. He tries to put this on Vice President Harris. She hasn't even showed up at the border. She doesn't even know what she's supposed to be doing. They want open borders. They're getting it right now.
You open the border, you welcome people in, and then you blame President Trump, and then you do nothing while facilities in the United States are holding children at over 700% of their capacity. This makes no sense unless you are committed, at the end of the day, to inhumanity on steroids.
I'm just sick and tired. Are you sick and tired, folks, of them saying this is not a crisis? Because after I see a 3-year-old and 5-year-old girl being tossed over or thrown over a 14-foot-tall fence by these human smugglers, which are really human traffickers, it is so appalling that this is happening, and they won't use the word crisis to describe. It's certainly a crisis for that 3-year-old and 5-year-old girl.